And what we wanted to talk about was how Donald Trump and his administration are trying so hard to first and foremost do what they promised to do in Project 2025, which is hopefully replace Maduro with a puppet and get, hey, Lev is here. All right, see, let's see, Lev. Now let's see if this is a CUN conspiracy. All right, let's see now if it's a CUN conspiracy, because I just added you, man. If you can comment and if you are on this live, let's see if they're letting me add you as the guest. We're going to talk about what Lev has heard, what the Trump administration is doing as he's clearly dying before our eyes, as he's sinking in the ratings. Now we just got, folks, for those who haven't read, the U.S. has seized a, quote, very large oil tanker off the Venezuela coast, Trump says. The Washington Post writes the seizure was a significant escalation in the U.S. pressure campaign against the Venezuelan president Maduro and his country's oil-dependent country. The U.S. forces seized an oil tanker near the Venezuelan coastline. As Trump said, a significant escalation. As you probably know, we just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela. Trump told a roundtable meeting of business leaders at the White House. Apparently, he didn't fall asleep this time. He described the vessel as very large and the largest one ever seized, actually. Of course, you had to say that. And other things are happening. So you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people. Trump did not provide further details about the seizure, the tanker, its owner, or where it was headed. I assume we're going to keep the oil, though, he said. The Navy and Coast Guard referred questions to the White House. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. One person familiar with the seizure said the tanker appeared to be carrying Venezuelan oil to Cuba. The person said on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive details. The claim could not be immediately corroborated. Depending on what legal justification they used to seize the vessel, it could create a lot of problems for the regime, a person familiar with the seizure said. The person who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive details said the seizure could have a big financial impact. So, folks, the America First regime that promised non-interventionism, if you've been keeping receipts, in the past year has threatened to make Canada the 51st state. Lev, how's it
Right.
going?
Oh, there we go. Oh my God. I do not know what is going on, guys.
Are you on the laptop or the phone?
I'm on a different phone because I had to go get I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you got you. Well, let me finish this up, and thanks for coming. So now, the United States of America, after murdering Venezuelan fishermen, folks, that's an escalating story because apparently there were survivors. The two survivors were hanging on the boat. Now we know that apparently Kegseth said kill them all. There was another survivor who apparently drowned and died. And then the other two survivors, they quickly sent them off to their country. In addition to just doing these multiple illegal extrajudicial murders and assassinations, now he has seized an oil tanker, bragged about it, has taken another country's oil. What justification? We don't know. Literally setting up a conflict where he wants Venezuela to respond. It's almost happening in international waters what Stephen Miller and this administration want to happen in domestic waters. They want an excuse to impose Insurrection Act and the martial law. They want an excuse for Maduro to respond. So all the warmongers who are for America first and non-interventionism basically say rah, rah, rah for America to engage in a war, replace Maduro, put in a puppet leader, and then have the broligarchy take all the oil. As this is happening, he's a negative underwater Lev on the economy. Latinos who historically in Miami, Cubans who go for Trump, they went, excuse me, for Republicans, they gave the victory to Eileen Higgins yesterday. Young people are running away. Epstein files, drip, 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 they're coming back. Trump looks really sick. I don't know if you saw his post where he admitted today, Lev, he had 3 cognitive tests, one for dementia. What? This seems to me a desperate, weak regime playing for all the marbles, and they don't care about the law. They don't care about accountability. And furthermore, as someone just mentioned 2 hours ago, Reuters reported, Lev, that this administration wants to ensure that the ICC gives them amnesty for any crimes they might have committed. Totally normal. I'm sure that's exactly what people who don't do crimes do. Lev, so much to talk about. Let's start with Venezuela first.
I mean, Waj, I mean, you break it down so well, but we've been saying it, Venezuela, Venezuela, watch that space. I mean, here we go. And it's all about the oil. We're starting, and we do have already boots on the ground. My sources are telling me we have
Wow.
CIA definitely on the ground. They're already searching for Maduro. Part of another thing that I heard that from my sources, that part of the conversation that Kushner and Witkoff had with Putin also had about Maduro, because Russia has a lot of at stake in Venezuela, and this is a part of a global play, because now Russia is allowing Maduro to be as a tool being played, and using Venezuela as a tool for Trump and the money to be able to do what they want in Ukraine. It's another part of that manipulation that's happening, and that's why you're seeing after the meetings in Russia, you're seeing. I always say, watch the action. Forget about what
Mm.
they're talking about. Right after Kushner left there, you're seeing Putin being as more aggressive as he wants. You see Trump putting out that national security a memorandum that basically said, we are now going to get away from the NATO and leave the Europe on its own. And simultaneously, now you're seeing him start, attacking Venezuelan oil tankers. Next, I'm hearing we're literally day to day from, some sort of attack inside of Venezuela. But right now they're trying to actually find Maduro, to take Maduro. So that's what's going on in
And
Venezuela.
that was in Project 2025, folks. It was written specifically. They wanted to get rid of Maduro. They wanted a regime change, and they want access to all these oils and reserves for the broligarchy, not just the broligarchy here in America, but also for Russia and Saudi Arabia. This, the world's worst brutal dictators coming together. And I feel like as he's dying, Lev, and I'm going to use the word dying, we'll talk about it in a second, he's playing for all the marbles, right? They don't care. They realize most likely there's going to be a midterm wipeout, which is, I'm really, really afraid increasingly that this administration is going to do martial law. They saw what happened in Miami. They saw what happened in the Georgia special election. They see the poll numbers, and they see that people are rejecting the overreach on immigration, the economic policies. And so for me, it's like, okay, let's get as much as we can. Let's raid the store. Let's drink everyone's milkshake. And the people around him realize that daddy is dying. And so they already got the big, beautiful bill, the permanent tax cuts. Now they're going to get Venezuela's oil. His daddy, Putin, is going to make sure that he gets Ukraine. And then Donald Trump, daddy, can die. And then J.D. Vance and others can reap the spoils of war.
It gets even more complicated, more crazier than that. So I actually put out last night at 11 o'clock at night after getting off the phone. I put out a Substack letter that everybody should take a look. It's Trump world in a major panic. What you just said, it's multiply that by 10. Susie
Mm.
Wiles, Steve Miller, and Russell Vaught had a major meeting, and they are realizing that basically because they see the numbers. Trump could run around and scream affordability, it's a hoax, all that, but the people that are actually running the show behind Project 2025 and everything else are panicking and seeing the numbers, seeing especially what happened November 4th with the special election, and with the off-year elections, how the Democrats tsunami hit. What they saw happen yesterday in Miami. I mean, yes, the pundits are walking around saying, "Oh, it's only a mayoral race in Miami," but that's 3 decades, folks. 3 decades that was held by Republicans, and the Democrats came out really strong. These are all
Plus
signs.
19. He won by
Plus 19. I mean,
19 points.
right? It's like ridiculous. I mean, and I think there was other races yesterday also that were run.
Georgia.
Georgia, thank you. So basically, that is sentimental panic. That's what you saw yesterday. Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. That's his first stop and the opening of basically his presidential. They're putting him on tour. They're basically thinking this is their last hurrah. This is their Hail Mary, because everything is falling apart. The war between Marjorie Taylor Greene has reached a major break, which the media is not even covering properly. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is taking a big part of his base of that mega uneducated white nationalist strong base that, now that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene is using very strategic words like not make America great again, but America first. Those are very strategic. You got to be very careful. Everybody's like, yeah, Marjorie Taylor, yes,
Not
that's good
me.
what she's
Not
doing.
me, Lev.
Say, I know, not you. I know. That's why me and you was. That's why we're here, brother. Because you gotta watch her. She's very shrewd, very what's it called. That's why there's a major division also between Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. That whole group is there. I mean, so they see the panic, and right now they are literally putting him on the road as the Hail Mary, thinking that if he goes the next year through the midterms, that he'll be able to somehow save it. But major panic inside the Trump world because of that, and not just Trump, but the actual players that are running Project 2025 and everything else.
So we'll talk about the division in a second because I think it's fascinating for those who don't follow MAGA like me and Lev because you thankfully have a life and aren't a masochist. These are massive fissures, folks. And I do want to talk to Lev about what's going to happen next because just because there's fissures and he's going to die, what's going to happen next is even worse in my opinion. But you saw Donald Trump yesterday as Eileen Higgins became the first female to win the mayor of Miami, the first non-Latino in 30 years, the first Democrat in 28 years, won by 19 points. They trotted out this decaying, dying carcass, Donald Trump, and they tried to keep him on message at his rally in Pennsylvania. He didn't stay on message. He only has one note now. It's racism. And Axios about a week ago did this report that said, okay, we're just going to double down on racism. We're going to double down on calling Somali people garbage. We're going to double down on Nazi talking points. We're going to double down on against the Haitians. And he said, why can't they come from Norway, Sweden? They come from shithole countries. And Ilhan Umar with the pointy thing, the turban. I'm not making this up, folks. So he went all in, but it's not working because they thought it would work for them in 2018 in the midterms, even though there was a good economy, folks. It didn't work for them then. It didn't work for them in 2020. But they're like, oh, it worked in 2024. Maybe it'll work again. But the economy is so bad now. People are so pissed off. He's done so much overreach on immigration that one play that they have, which is straight Nazi, folks, use the words. It's racist. It's Nazi talking points. Remigration. It's a Nazi talk. They've gone full Nazi now. And I don't think you can walk back once you've gone full Nazi, Lev. And it's not working. And you're seeing the cracks. And speaking about the cracks, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like you said, I'm not MAGA. I'm America first. You saw Tucker Carlson in a podcast today mock the people in charge, which are Republicans. You see Tim Pool turn on Candace Owens. You saw Candace Owens turn on Tim Pool. You see Nick Fuentes mocking Donald Trump. You see the Heritage Foundation breaking apart because they sided with Tucker Carlson. What's happening inside the White House right now when they look at Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace? I think if you saw her, she's criticizing them. I think okay, so I want to ask you what
Full
the White
panic.
House, first I want to ask you, how's the White House trying to rebuild a coalition that is clearly fracturing? Number one.
Well, that's right now their major, like I said, their strategy right now is to put him on the road, to get him out there into start building up the rallies, start trying to bring MAGA back together, to start bringing that message, which I think he's insane with the affordability hoax, but that's his number one message right now, besides the racist rants that he goes on, that the Epstein hoax, affordability hoax, so they're right now in a major panic, Waj, because he is completely off the rails, off script. He's in a totally different world, different bubble, thinking that life is beautiful. I mean, if you listen to the shit that came out of his mouth, I mean, literally telling people that don't worry about, your kid should get less presents, less toys, less this. I mean, it was just insane.
Literally, for those who don't know what Lev is saying, he said yesterday he decided, you know what, let me run on being Scrooge. And then he literally said, your kids don't need 37 dolls. They don't need pencils. Meanwhile, he's making a $300 million ballroom for himself. He gets a jet from Qatar. He gets billions of dollars through crypto. So it's basically like, let them eat cake. That's what he's saying. That's what he pitched yesterday, folks. Lev is not making this up.
And it's crazy, but there's some really big news that I'm working on that I broke a little bit a couple of days ago. The media is not picking up, Waj. We've been talking about, and I think it's literally January is what I'm hearing is Dan Bongino is looking for an escape route.
Ha!
He is literally. I'm hearing that he is going to be leaving the DOJ, I mean FBI, sometime in February. Now, that's not to say that he's going to turn on Trump right away. Let's not that, I'm not that hopeful. But what I'm hearing is that from people close inside that are around him, his strategy is to get out. Because he, first of all, he understands that the Epstein files are coming out. He understands that yes, a lot of it's going to be manipulated because of the scrubbing that's been going on, that's been reported not just by me but many of different sources, not just Trump's name but others out there. The conversation you heard that on 60 Minutes between Marjorie Taylor Greene, when she said, "Listen, I told Trump release the files," and he said to me, "Marjorie, a lot of good people are going to get hurt." And see, that's what I think Marjorie missed, Taylor Greene missed, and a lot of people also, the media missed. Trump talks, and I know him very well. He talks about himself in the third person a lot. And basically, when he was telling Marjorie, good people are going to get, he was meaning like he's yeah, exactly, Waj. He's going to get hurt without saying it, and she didn't click into that. And she was like, and for whatever reason, her own ambition, because she stood up for women, I don't care, but thank God she did push the envelope, and that's why that major crack. So Bongino knows there's a lot of, he's seen it, and it's a lot more than that. He's been having rifts between with Susie Wiles. It hasn't stopped. Pam Bondi hasn't stopped. He has not been in the Oval since July. He has not spoken to Donald Trump. I mean, so he's right now, and he's not the only one. I'm also hearing, I'm going to break some other names, but there's a group, there's people and they're starting to see the writing on the wall. They're starting to see the revolt inside of MAGA, the break coming. They see the massacre and the midterms that is going to take place, and then they understand that there's going to be I don't know if it's the Nuremberg trial, but there's going to be definitely accountability for a lot of them. And the one thing I do want to say, though, is I know a lot of we see a lot of reporting on MS Now for some reason. I don't know why, but I think they're using MS Now as a tool to leak things, as to stir away from the actual situation. But I just want to make it clear: Pete Hegseth he's not getting rid of Pete Hegseth. He's not getting rid of Cash Patel. He's not getting rid of Pam Bondi, and he's not getting rid of Christy Nome. It doesn't matter how many people they kill or arrest or throw American citizens in prison. That is his core crew that is out there doing his dirty work, folks. They are going down with the ship. They will be the first ones that will be subpoenaed, indicted, and taken down. And they're but others like Bongino and others are looking for an escape route right now.
Yeah, and folks, that's why the report came out today that from Reuters that this administration is trying to get amnesty in advance from the ICC because they fear if they're ever out of power that they can be tried and convicted for crimes. I wonder why. Maybe because they're doing crimes. But I think that's an important point because these people are loyalists. And now they're stuck. They live completely inside the anus of Trump. So if Trump goes up, they go up. If Trump goes down, they go down. And the leaks are coming fast and furious. These leaks against Cash Patel are coming from within the FBI. The leaks against Kristi Noem, the DOJ threw her under the bus. The leaks against Kexet, they're all coming from inside Lev, right? There's no other person who could get it, right?
Well, that's why they're so pissed because, even my sources are always scared. These are all people that are very close inside and that's what pisses Trump off so badly, and Hag and all of them, is because the information of the leaks are coming from a very small group of people that are close to all of them, which we're not going to mention. And God bless, because these people are, some of them, for whatever reason, I can't figure out why some of them do what they do and why they still stay and why they leak and why, but God bless that, we have this information, because if we didn't, imagine we'd be doing all of this in the blind. Just think about how much information and how we screwed up, because every time we break this, trust me when I tell you folks, they have to go a different route. They have to change things up. They have to things up because it screws up whatever they're trying to do. So trust me, that's why there's trying to find the leakers so badly. That's why they're trying to go after everybody they could possibly think about. To even to the fact, I reported on it a few months ago. They're using AI to scan people's, bringing people into the office, scanning their eyes, using AI to see, what they're capable, if they're able to, where they would go and how they would say it. It's really crazy.
They're doubling down on their failed policies and they're trying to maximize as much as they can. And you saw what happened with immigration. Now, even our allies, those coming from Europe, you've seen that now they're going to they're going to audit and review their social media post to see if they said anything critical about Donald Trump. You've seen foreign travel and tourism plummet in America. You've seen us lose billions of dollars. You're seeing a brain drain where all these brilliant immigrants are being poached by China and Japan and Europe and they're leaving. You're seeing China go to Argentina and Brazil. Now the soy farmers got bailed out. They're like, we don't want to bail out. We just want to go back to doing business with China. You're seeing Canada turn and now go to China. You're seeing America further isolated. And they've turned this country and they're turning this country into a shithole with their policies. And now they're doubling down with this war with Venezuela after promising their base that they're going to be America first. So not only are they betraying the American public, but by not releasing the Epstein files and now going with war or trying to go to war with Venezuela, they're betraying America first. And for those who don't follow America first, there's a big portion of the MAGA base that says America first means no interventionism, stop doing these wars, stop supporting Israel, put all the money in America, bring back the jobs. And they're pissed off now. So he's pissed them off due to the economy. He's pissed them off because he didn't release the Epstein files because let's be honest, he's in it. And go ahead.
No, that's exactly those two things, and that's why Waj, when this whole thing is over, if, you need to get a prize because you stayed on this, and that's why God bless you, my brother, since the beginnings in July 6th. I remember that's when me and you started actually when we came at this was the Epstein files. We were two of the very few that said it. This is his Achilles. You say it's his cankle. What is he called? Like his
Yeah, God is the one. God who's watching right now, call it Achilles cankle.
Achilles
And I said
cankle.
I'm going to use that. And so
God,
he's watching right now. So I've been using it ever since that. The two
yeah.
Achilles cankles, the economy, the Epstein files, and maybe the third Achilles cankle, according to Allison, is this Venezuela scandal. She thinks that they can't escape it.
Well, I think it puts it this way: the scandal they could escape. It's the killing of innocent people that they. I mean, because there's two Venezuela scandals: the scandal of the double tap, the shooting, the all the people they're killing in the open ocean. And the fact that they're right now going to try to take the oil tankers and the cash, and that's one of the things that is really pissing some people, and why they're panicking. People like you gotta understand, Susie Wiles, people like even Stephen Miller, which sometimes are, but people like Vaught and them, they're behind the scenes. They're the ones that are actually pulling the strings, running the machine. Trump's out there, and the one thing that they did not foresee, the one thing that they are pissed, my sources are saying everybody, where Trump screwed everybody, was literally the Epstein files. The Epstein files, nobody saw that coming. That was like the left hook. It was a left hook basically that came out of the blue, and this is why they don't know how to deal with it because Trump, they've had conversations inside of them. There were plenty of conversation. Just release the files. And he's just adamant because, like I said, it's more than just a lot of people they're going to get hurt. It's also a lot of things that is going to show that he has been a puppet and the Russians really control him really strongly, and it would blow up everything because there's a lot of things he could sustain, but the one thing he can there's basically history will just go down as he was a Russian puppet as a president basically.
And also potentially, allegedly, a rapist. Michael Wolff has said that Jeffrey Epstein showed him photos with young girls
What
on his
happened to
wedding.
Michael Wolff? Whatever happened to him?
He's doing fine on Substack. I think he's just trying to rebrand once it realized he was engaging in what I think is somewhat unethical, well, very unethical conversation with
No,
them.
he hasn't told them he hasn't contacted you as of
I
yet.
emailed him. He did his first Substack live with me. And then he was like, "This is amazing! Wow, this is a game changer." A lot of people watching on that Substack. He told me that Epstein showed him photos of Donald Trump with girls around him, and then he said he saw a photo. He alleges he saw a photo with these girls, underage girls, pointing to a stain on Donald Trump's crotch. And then he also said that Epstein told him that the first time Melania and Donald had sex was on Lolita Express. And I think Melania is also stuck because we don't know about Melania. Like, Melania, her immigration, she came here. Did she come here legally? How did she party with Epstein? How was she in that circle? Why did they first allegedly have sex with Donald Trump? Why did she allegedly have sex with Donald Trump on Lolita Express? Which is why then she threatened Michael with $1 billion lawsuit, and then he actually sued her, right? But Michael, I've asked him ever since that came out that he was essentially coaching Epstein. I said, come back. Hasn't answered my emails. So I think the Epstein files, in addition to compromising Donald Trump, will reveal so many people who are still alive. Leon Black, Wexner, alleged, the prime minister of a country. That's what Virginia Giuffre said. But also the money trail, Russia and Israel, right? And I think in addition to that, he has. What's so interesting to me is Lev is MAGA is being destroyed, or this version of MAGA is being destroyed, not necessarily by the liberals, but if we want to be honest about it, by the monster that they have created. They're being destroyed by the Epstein files, by QAnon, and by the Groypers.
100%. And that's where the danger comes in, where we got to be very careful, is because the person that's trying to clean it up and bring the band back together
Yeah.
is Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what you don't see is, you don't see her interviews with Tucker Carlson. You don't see her alliances with the Candace so and so. So she's basically all of these people that basically, like the Laura Loomers, and went after Donald Trump, went after because of the Epstein files, because of certain inner, like the attacks, supporting Israel, the stuff in Venezuela, not being America first, all of this type of stuff. She's basically, that's why one of the reasons she's taken such a major approach. And that's also pissing off Trump insiders. And they see it also as, because they understand he's losing the control of the mega base right now. And you saw that also even in his rally yesterday. You saw the way, the silence of the crowd when he tried to make a joke about how this was a hoax, the economy, the affordability, this name is a hoax. I mean, nobody was laughing at that, I'm saying to you. So they're starting to see it, and that's why more than ever, I encourage everybody, right now is a time not to rejoice, but right now is a time to press the pedal to the metal. Right now is to hit the hammer even harder. Right now, we need to push even harder. Right now, each and every one of you should be calling your congressmen or women, senators, writing emails, putting pressure about what's going on in Venezuela. We need answers about this double strike. We need to understand why, Trump is walking away from Ukraine. I mean, all of these things need to be just pressure, because you see what's actually happening even in the Congress. My sources are telling me that not only are we going to have people retire, we're going to have people stop showing up for votes. Johnson lost control. You're also starting to see that they are out. They're coming look at Rand
Nancy
Paul.
Mace.
Yeah. Huh?
Nancy Mace.
Nancy Mace, Paul. I mean, they're Rand Paul. I mean, they're all coming out of there, like, and then and again, these are different subjects. It's not that's where the danger comes in, where they're losing control. It's not just about, let's say, Epstein files. It's about the Epstein files. You have a group of Republicans and MAGA about the Epstein files. Then you have another group about this double tap, a totally different group that has nothing to do, and they're starting to end up. Then you have others about the tariffs. Then you have others about the, what he's doing with ICE and immigration. Then you guys like Massey and Bacon that have been completely on him, and all of this is starting to pile up. And that's why I'm saying we gotta keep going, gotta keep going, gotta keep going, because finally, I keep saying it. We'll see, but I think it's gonna be, when this whole thing starts blowing up, somebody like either Bongino or somebody's gonna come out, is gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back and blows that whole thing wide open, because there's just too much
It's
going on.
too much. And we thought, I said that it would take a year. I said they would, because I know these folks. You know these folks. I've been following them. These are fragile, petty, insecure cowards cosplaying as warriors and crusaders. They're incompetent. They're reckless, and all this shit would come out and would come to a head. I thought they would turn on each other after a year. I was wrong. Apparently, 10 months. And folks, it's only been less than a year. The economy is going to get worse. They're not even going to extend the healthcare subsidies, which means healthcare costs are going to skyrocket for so many Americans. This is before the big beautiful bill, which gives permanent tax cuts to billionaires and takes out Medicaid. And, God forbid if the AI bubble or crypto bubble bursts, they're going to further alienate our allies. The CDC is being destroyed, which means measles is going to come back. More and more people are going to get sick. They're going to double down with immigration, which means there's going to be more violence and ugliness, right? So it's all going to get worse, Lev. I want people to just keep their eyes open. Doesn't mean that they're going to win, but things are going to get worse. It's very, very self destructive. And these people are desperate. And Lev, when people say, Waj, no, I remember, Lev, look, when I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I remember in 2019, because I followed Trump, I took him literally and seriously. I said, this man will not leave peacefully. I remember the first time I tweeted it, I think the tweet is still up. You should go look at the responses. A lot of the folks were like the moderate Republicans and the conservatives and the never Trump Republicans and the people who were still kind of like, filleting him, and all the corporate media people who are liberal. You TDS, you've gone too far. You're hysterical, yada, yada, yada. I have all the receipts there. I said it again. He's not going to leave. What did he do, Lev? This man is the first I know people like forget January 6th. I don't. He is the first president in history who said, no, I won the election I lost, and he incited a violent insurrection against our country. Thankfully, at the last second, Mike Pence took advice from Justice Luttig and Dan Quayle and did his job, right? And then what did he do once he got into power? He pardoned all 1,600 of them, including the violent ones, who, by the way, one of them just got arrested for sexually assaulting, raping a girl. Also a spiritual advisor, Trump's spiritual advisor, in jail for having sex with a girl. Have you noticed a trend? But I digress. Um, and now to this day, he says, to this day, he's so petty. He goes, I won, I won, I won, even though he lost. A man like that, who has potentially allegedly committed crimes in this administration already, would he ever, ever voluntarily give up power and hold himself accountable or even risk accountability, Lev?
No, I mean, listen, first of all, I'm just gonna say to everybody out there, you could don't forget about what everybody says. Look at the actions. Does he look like a man that's planning on leaving, or I mean, it's the like he's building his White House the way he wants it. He's building monuments. He's out there making deals with countries and basically robbing and stealing and in plain sight. He does not in any fascinating of the world think that he is leaving anywhere. And remember, you got to listen to some of the important words and interviews because we have so much that goes on. But we're here, me and Waj are here to give you those little points. And there was an interview that this Steve Bannon did, and then in that interview he said, "We have a plan for 2028." Those were his words. He said, don't worry about it. He said, Trump is not going anywhere. We have a plan. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. They have contingency plans. And that's why Waj is 100% right. And I want to be very clear. And that's why, I never sugarcoat. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But that doesn't mean that they're going to win. And that's very important because we are going to win. Everything is, the wave is turning, the tsunami is coming. And, but in the meantime, they're going, it's like that cornered rat. It's that rapid dog that, starts biting, starts attacking. They will do it. And you're starting to see, I mean, the fact that they're killing people in the wide open in the middle of the ocean to prove a point, to be able to steal oil, to be able to, call it a war. The fact that he's allowing Putin to basically rape, pillage Eastern Europe, and not just Ukraine, but this is already starting to come in because now you're seeing the deals come out that minerals, oil, gas that's going to eventually start dealing with Europe and our allies. So he's walking away from NATO. You're starting him. You see the national. I mean, you're starting to see all of this. This is not, just like Wash said, a person that is planning to let elections happen fairly. Listen to what he says. Elections is all a scam. Mail-in voting is a scam. We need all of these things. We haven't even gotten there. And now he's going on, and this is now what they're trying to do is it's like a cult leader. And he
There you
is
go.
a cult leader. So now they're putting him on the road to rally the cult, to go out there. And that's why it's so important right now to support people like independent journalists like Waj and others out there that are bringing you the real information because the media is chasing all these, what's it called, fairy tales. And also, guys, you know what I'm planning on doing. Watch, I don't know if, but I've started. I'm so excited. I found this, put together this monster group. I can't mention names, but these are some of the most top people that have put together, presidential runs and stuff to put together a machine. And we're gonna go do some of the most unorthodox stuff that you're even ready inside of Mega World. I can't talk about everything because a lot of them follow us, watch us. Like Laura Loomer subscribes to us. You know what I'm saying? To watch what we say. So we have to be careful on everything we divulge. But I could promise you, we are the one thing that we are going to do is we're going to basically not allow them. Right now, their strategy is to bring the MAGA base together. That's why they're putting him on the trail to go after. They're going to go after Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're going to rally the troops to get Mace back into the hoop. They're going to, take people like Candace Owens and make them, outcasts. I mean, they have a plan on how to do everything and sharp that, but we also have a plan. We have a plan how not to let them happen. And the number one thing is we're not going to allow them to get the base, that mega structure, the crack that they have back together. Watch. So it's going to be, I could tell you, an interesting next 8 months, 9 months until the election comes. So, folks, keep your
Yeah,
popcorn ready.
I think things are get far worse before they get better. That doesn't mean that we don't have to be we have to be miserable, but I just want people to be prepared that they're going to do immense damage. They've already done immense damage. The economy sadly is going to get worse.
Insurance.
Price insurance is going to go up. Prices are going to go up. They're going to try to wag the dog. He's going to get more violent. Once you go full Nazi, folks, they've gone full Nazi. It's very, very hard to see because the base needs this 24/7 IV drip of hate. Lev knows he was part of the base. So it's like porn or drugs. You need something stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And now they've gone full Nazi. And so now they have to deliver. They want us out. They want us out. They want to kick us all out. We're all garbage people. We all come from third world countries. They've stopped, asylum application. They want to end birthright citizenship. They're saying remigrate, ethnic cleansing. Like they have masked armed ICE agents terrorizing the streets. Like, folks, what do you think is going to happen? So you got to be eyes wide open about this. And the final question I want to ask you, because I think this is important. I've been warning about this, and I want people to keep their eyes wide open. This rehabilitation tour of Marjorie Taylor Greene, folks, and of Tucker Carlson, by the way. He sees where the wind is blowing. Uh, Use them, folks. Don't be used by them. Use them as a weapon to destroy MAGA. Don't be used by them. I see too many people who are too smart. And it really worries me, folks, because people get most information from YouTube and TikTok and social media. People who are smart. We live in a country of amnesiacs, Lev. Everyone forgets. I've seen so many smart people say the following. Did you see that clip from Tucker? I think he's changed. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a friend and ally. I love Candace Owens for her bravery. I'm like, did you hear everything else? And what they're going to do is, I've been saying this for a couple of months, folks. Democrats, beware. I've told you. Um, they're going further to the left than the Democratic establishment on Israel. They're getting a lot of people like that. They're getting people on America First, anti-military interventionism. They're getting people now parroting the affordability message that was the progressive message, right? They're attacking Trump, and then they're going to do some culture war stuff. You mix that all together, and what they're going to do. This is not her retiring. This is her temporarily stepping back and then cobbling together what remains, trying to poach some independents, disaffected Democrats, young people, and then try to then go for a white supremacist narrative without calling it a white supremacist narrative in 2028 and 2032. And if Dems mess this up, folks, my fear is if somehow, inshallah, Lev, we have free and fair elections, and I don't know if we will, I really don't. And if, say, a Dem wins, but if they play it lukewarm and milk toast, and they're not fighters, and they're not going for reform, we might get our first Nazi president in 2032. You guys aren't paying attention to this, folks. Pay attention to what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing, Thomas Massey is doing, Candace is doing, Tucker's doing. Uh, and Democratic establishments completely, gosh, Schumer and Jeffries, they don't see it. We need young blood, not young in the sense of age, but we need that fighter spirit to see it, and you got to block it. You got to block it right now, and you have to remind people these are hate mongers. America First is what Nick Fuentes and Nazis use. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're all in with Nick Fuentes. Marjorie Taylor Greene, You were all in with MAGA. Tucker Carlson, you complained about England not having enough white people. Candace Owens, you're spreading the most insane anti-Semitic conspiracy theories right now, right? Call them out, folks. They can be right. A nutty person can be right on one thing, and you say, yes, the world's worst person made a really good point, still a terrible person. So I'm here doing what I can to remind everyone they are terrible, they are dangerous, they're going for a white supremacist Christian nationalist narrative. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled, folks.
Oh
Which is
man.
why we have to organize the majority against it. Before I let you go, Lev, shamelessly promote yourself.
Before I do that, I just want to say, oh man, watch what you just said is so important. I want everybody just to replay this when we put this out there. Those of you that have joined, replay the last part what Waj just said, because that's probably the most important out of this whole what we spoke about. We spoke about a lot of important stuff. We broke some stuff in news, but this is probably the most important stuff that we're trying to tell you. And I love how you said that saying. Use them, but don't be used by them. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Tucker Carlson, people like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens are being funded by some serious money behind the scenes, and they see the writing on the wall. They understand that Trump is no longer MAGA. He is no longer Trump is on his own in his own bubble, trying to go out there do whatever the hell he wants to do. The people behind him, Project 2025, the white supremacists and everybody else are scrambling to put back MAGA back together and try just like exactly what Wash said. This is what my sources are telling me, and do not be fooled. Just because they talk bad about Trump, just because they're supporting one of the movements that we might all agree on, does not mean. Remember what these people stand for. Remember what they actually do, what they talk about, and remember what she actually says, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that she voted 98% with Donald Trump. So just because they don't disagree on this one thing, it doesn't mean that Marjorie Taylor Greene is all of a sudden some sort of a saint. So that's why it's extremely important message. Don't be fooled by them. Don't let them use you. And look, guys.
Wait, Lev. Before you go, I want to ask you this. To me, it seems clear Trump is dying. Did you see this post? I wanted to ask about this just a batshit of all the batshit things he said. That batshit Trump, a Truth Social post where it's all projection. Every accusation and allegation is a confession. He said, "I have done something that no other president has done on three separate occasions. The last one being recently by taking what known as a cognitive examination." Like he's admitting, like that's the one given for like, bro, you did three, you did two MRIs in 6 months. Like what's happening? Like he's admitting it. And he's saying, I can't believe people are saying that I'm weak. I'm the strongest. I'm the best. Clearly, you're weak and you're dying. Something's happening here.
Well, look, you know what? We've learned our lesson with Biden. We saw his stop listening to what they're saying to you. Watch the actions. We saw when Biden was talking bad, and they made the excuses, and we made the excuses, and that's why same thing here. Look at him. He sleeps. He's sleeping at the meetings. He's talking about nonsense. He's rambling on. I mean, there's definitely something going on. I mean, and the fact that he's taking three cognitive tests, the fact that he's having MRIs done, the fact that you're seeing bruises and IVs being, and there's definitely something going on. I have not gotten wind of it, and that's why it's also interesting because usually something that's so tight-lipped, it means that there's definitely something. Because I've been pounding my sources, Waj, I could tell you, to try to get an answer to that, and nobody. It's like if might be a few people that I wouldn't even put it past, like family not even knowing to that extent, but definitely he's not, in his normal sense. You could see by the actions. You could see the way he talks, the way he acts. You could see the way he sleeps. And this is not one time. And every meeting right now, every time he's falling asleep. Exactly. And it's not for like 5 seconds or drowsing. I mean, you see the guy
He's out.
sleeping. He's out. I mean, so definitely there is a decline. I think it's definitely some sort of mental decline happening, and he's and there's a rapid you could tell by rapid deterioration. But again, I'm not a doctor, and I wish I could tell you and break some news on this, and I'll be the first to trust me, Waj. I'm pounding it, trying to get but yeah, no. But from what I could tell and I could see, he's definitely not the same guy that I knew before. He's definitely, all over the place. And the fact that he's sleeping, that's a major thing. And I don't think he's realizing it, because when he snaps out of it, he keeps calling Sleepy Joe while he's sleeping. I mean, it's just so ironic to you.
And Biden, to his credit, never fell asleep like this in public. And Biden, to his credit, was able to at least, like talk about NATO in an intelligent fashion. Like, this is worse than Biden. And
Yeah.
he's the oldest person to ever be elected. And, he's got the bruises. And we had nonstop coverage about Biden's health, Biden's health. So maybe there should be 24/7 coverage that it seems like our president is dying before our eyes. And why did you get 2 MRIs in 6 months? How come you don't know what body part you got the MRI on? Why did you take 3 cognitive tests? Like, these are questions, aren't these like legitimate questions we should ask of our commander in chief, especially after we spent 4 years saying that Biden had like dementia and stuff? Uh,
Where's
so
Jake
that,
Tapper? Jack Tapper? Where's
yeah,
Jake
maybe Jake
Tapper?
Tapper. Let's see if Jake Tapper and that Axios reporter. Yeah, interesting. He hasn't been on this. I wonder why. Look, what's so interesting, Lev? All these people who decided to make their bed with MAGA. They betrayed America. They betrayed the majority in the past year because they're like, it's inevitable. Joe Rogan's, the Manospheres, the Tappers, even Newsom at first, if you remember, when he went
Yeah, of
MAGA
course.
for a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at this. Whoopsie. Hasn't even been a year. I'll keep the receipts. And remember the people who went against him. Remember people who went against him, folks, even when it was unpopular. They all fail up here, but that's how it works. Either way, we have the majority. And as I was saying, Lev, promote yourself before we leave.
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming here. We have over 1,500 people. My only dream and wish after Monday's you guys know out there, is to raise enough money in my GoFundMe to be able to hire this group so I could go on tour and do what we need. We've raised about 60 or 70,000. I don't know. It's incredible. We're almost halfway there. I think the number is 150 we need to get to hire them. So God bless each and every. I saw some of you putting the GoFundMe in there. So I just want to say I'm really humbled, and I could tell you one thing, that you're gonna, I'm the one person that says, watch, don't watch what they say, watch what they do. I'm gonna stop talking and start acting, and you're gonna love to see what I'm gonna do. So thank you. God bless each and every one of you. You keep going with that GoFundMe so we could go hire these people and I could go on tour and be in Washington D.C. So I could see Wash soon. And I have a lot to talk to you about, because we have some fun things planned for them, Waj. I could promise
Yeah,
you
yeah.
that.
Let me know. This will be exciting. We 10 toes down, man. Everyone has a role to play to defend democracy. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, whether you're have some money and can fund the right campaigns, economic boycotts, raising your children in a decent, good way, running for school board, running for city council, being informed, correcting your family members when they spread disinformation. I know it goes a long way, folks. Everyone has a role to play, and this is what we're doing. This is the Left Hook. It's and Lev remembers. There's no paywalls on my Substack. Everything is free. I have a discount that was really successful that people enjoyed in Thanksgiving, and people said, times are tough right now. I want to support you, but $5 a month was too much. It's like I think I have 20% off or 25% off now. So I'm going to keep this going till January 1st. It's like $3.80 a month. I think $38 a year. I'm going to put the link right now. It's theleftook.substack.com/discount. If you have been a free subscriber, if you have enjoyed what you've heard over the past year, consider becoming a paid subscriber. $38 a year, $3.80 a month. If not, I get it. Times are tough. At least subscribe. Everything is free. There, inshallah, will never be a paywall. Folks, tomorrow, I think this will be the last one I do today, but you never know, Lev. I was on like till midnight yesterday. So
I
hopefully it's the
saw
last
that.
one.
I saw that yesterday. I was amazed. You are amazing. What?
No, man, I'm tired. I did spend time with my kids. I put them to bed, then I did that. But tomorrow, folks, I can confirm at 1:30. Excuse me, at 1 p.m. we got Angie Pumps Sullivan from I've Had It podcast. So I had Jen Welsh. I got Pumps on, and then at 2:30, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar makes her Substack live debut.
Oh wow.
And so we're gonna have Congresswoman Omar. I'm going to ask her all these, let's see if she truly hates America. I want to ask her, like, why is Donald Trump so obsessed with her? Why does she live rent free in his mind? and talk about the reality of what Somalis are going through and Muslim refugees are going through and all the hate that she unfortunately gets. So that'll be on 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. Her team confirmed with me, yeah, Eastern time, and then 1 p.m. we're going to have pumps, and then I'll try to get one other person. Um, Thanks everyone for watching. Be kind, be informed, and please, oh please, don't be a fascist. Take care, Lev.
Take care, Wash.